Well, today marks Rex Tillerson's last official day as the U.S. Secretary of State. He'd already given up the job's responsibilities earlier in the week. Tillerson was fired following numerous disagreements with Donald Trump over foreign policy. The relationship was also strained by reports that Tillerson had referred to Trump as a moron during a meeting at the Pentagon. Trump has replaced Tillerson with Mike Pompeo, who is seen as being more in line with Trump's views. We've seen a lot of changes in Trump's cabinet. The same is true of his legal team. The U.S. president will have to decide whether or not to testify before Robert Mueller's Russia inquiry. But right now, Trump has only one lawyer working on it full time. Trump's personal lawyer, John Dowd, stepped aside recently. Well, how big of a loss is that for the U.S. president? That's the question I posed to national security lawyer Brad Moss.
This is a high-profile, white-collar, constitutionally sensitive investigation that ultimately might implicate the president himself. You want, in this circumstance, to have a team of very qualified attorneys surrounding you, handling the entirety of your defense, every piece of paperwork, and preparing you as the client for a possible interview with Mr. Mueller and Mr. Mueller's dream team of prosecutors. The fact that the president, who has immense personal wealth, is seemingly unable to retain qualified counsel has got to be a serious concern for him personally, because he's going into this now with his only real personal full-time attorney being Jay Sekulow, who for all his qualifications is not used to handling this type of investigation.
And we keep hearing reports that, in fact, he is actually having trouble hiring lawyers, that numerous Washington law firms have turned him down. What can we read into that?
Well, the president is, with all due respect, quite possibly the worst client anyone could ever imagine having, because he won't keep his mouth shut. If it's a client of mine or one of my colleagues' clients, one of the first things we tell them is, you keep your mouth shut. You don't talk unless I tell you to talk, because every time you talk, you make your situation worse, whether or not you realize it or not, whether or not you intend to or not. But the president doesn't listen to that guidance. The president will go on Twitter whenever he wants to and say whatever he wants to, no matter how much it might undermine his position. And that's the reason I think a lot of these white-collar firms have simply refused to agree to represent him. They have no need or interest in taking on such a type of a client.